I built my own survival guide with baby twinnies on my hip, a brain that wouldn't quit anxious overthinking, and a classroom full of other people's children I genuinely love like my own. And somehow I find a structure that I converted into a body of work that's changed my life, and it's helped hundreds of women from all over the world. And now I teach that structure to powerful women so that they can find their own work and actually build it, the thing that they're here to, in the middle of their real lives, while remembering what it feels like to feel whole again. This is the podcast where we build the real thing together. This episode is on why being able to reconnect back to feelings is the gateway to your gift and your work manifesting in all the ways you know it's meant to. And it sounds really woo, but if you think about it logically, because I'm here for the logic every time. When you have a feeling, it puts a lot of strain and it puts a lot of pressure on your nervous system, your system. And so if you're feeling an intense emotion, which, hello human experience, and the people around you said, well, why do you feel that way? And even worse, we shouldn't feel that way. Very quickly, your nervous system gets the message of, oh, I can't just feel a feeling and let it move through me with however much ferocity it wants to, and then allow it to move out of me. I have to figure it out. I have to analyze it. I have to internalize it. Very quickly, the body gets used to, it will just adapt. It's your very first algorithm, the body. So very quickly, the body will go, oh, okay, so you just want to bypass that bit where there's the discomfort and there's the intensity, and you want to go straight to problem solving. We can do that. We can do that, no sweat. It will literally do whatever you tell it. So when you feel that intensity, you're like, why? What do I need to figure out? And usually, how do I make this intense feeling go away? If that has been, which is your medium of survival, which it is for almost every single human that I know, very quickly, that's just going to be your routine. So by the time you get to being an adult, you don't even know it's happening. You learn to smush down every emotion, and you learn to logic and analyze everything to the point of numbness. You're just existing through life in this numb state of, well, if I just function my way to this end result, maybe that will be it. You get to the point where you've exhausted everything, where you're not sure what else to do. And when you reach that point, you realize I have to go a different way of operating. Now, once you get to that point, it is glorious, because your gift is going to get really loud really quickly, because your gift cannot exist in logic. Your gift cannot exist in let me problem solve it and map it. Now, you need your consciousness, you need your mind, you need your intelligence, you need your logic, but it's always to tie the bow on everything at the end. Your gift, your work, your reason for being, that lives inside. It's not inside a feeling, but you navigate to it quicker when you allow that feeling to be the compass. So instead of, I know I'm meant to create something, I know it's meant to change the world, I know it's meant to change my life, the people I love's life, my community's life, let me figure out what that is. That's what the brain wants to do, isn't it? Let me figure it out, because I don't want to invest time, money and energy into something that isn't going to be it. What a waste of time. And so we end up 40 years old in a career that we're known for, built our reputation on, and you're thinking, this ain't working. When you're willing to feel into what feels good, suddenly you start trusting that more so, and you're like, oh, this makes no sense. On paper, the world will think I'm mad, and yet I have this feeling that even though it makes no sense, I'm meant to follow this. And so the more we're willing to follow that feeling over what makes logical sense, the quicker we get insight into the gifts of what our work actually is. And it's the chicken and the egg, because the brain will still want logic. My brain still wants logic. But the trick is And the whole Be Anxiety Free formula is based on this. The trick is to know that that part of you that's desperate to know will always be there. You're never going to get to the point where it just quietly goes, oh yeah, you're on a spinning sphere in endless space, spinning at 1,000 miles an hour that feels like stillness. Like, this all makes sense. That's never going to arrive. And when you make peace with that, and you start trusting the feeling that sits underneath things, you start trusting your gut that you have probably shoved down deep because you were taught not to trust it. The more you do that, the quicker you're going to start stepping towards the things that are actually made for you. And then you get the evidence, and then the brain's like, okay, get it now. But that's the bit we want at the forefront. That's the bit that we want at the beginning. But we can't, and we won't, ever. Not just like ever. And you have to make peace with that, and it makes no sense until you live it and you experience it. And then it makes complete sense. And somebody if you're like my husband, it's like, yeah, but how do you know, Emma? It's like, how do you explain it? I can show you how to experience it, but if you don't want to experience it, I can't explain it to you. But I can explain exactly how to experience it. And once you do, you know, and the knowing grows, and then your gift grows, and then your work grows, and all of a sudden your brain's just tying it all in beautiful, neat bows. That's what I spent the whole day doing yesterday, like tying off all of these ideas and insights and the next levels of the work that I'm sharing with the world into these bows. But it's the end. It's the end bit. This today, what I'm doing today, and I haven't touched my laptop, and I'm out in brand new woods that I've never met before. I am doing more for my work here in this moment, and I've got no idea what's meant to be landing and what insights I'm going to get and what feelings I'm going to get and who I'm going to meet. But I know that this is where the work manifests. And then you take the little golden threads of these moments and then you tie them together with the brain. But that's the last point. So if you can feel yourself knowing you're here for more, knowing your brain wants to lead and not quite knowing what to do with it, get out of your head, and not with drugs and not with alcohol and not with crazy ass porn and sex and all the things that we're all trying to substitute. Get out, learn to actually get out of your head and turn it off when the nonsense is getting loud. And that's what the Be Anxiety Free Fine formula is. I wrote a whole book on it. It's like £2.22 for the ebook, so I'll put the link in the description if that feels good. Learn how to be able to switch off that part of your brain and then get into the gift of your work. And remember, your logical, very clever, analytical brain that has got you this far is just for tying the bow at the end. Well, that's us for today. If something sparked, follow it. Your work isn't waiting at the end of a plan. It's already within you, whispering beneath all the noise. And the more you remember, the clearer it becomes. Come find me on Instagram and tell me what's landing. I'm always here for the big, weird, brilliant conversations. If you've got a friend who's circling their calling, share this with them. They'll thank you later. This is the real thing, and you're not building it alone. Much love.